All right, let's talk about our next Foundry project. We're really excited to announce that it's going to be with White's boots. This is going to be the White's MP Service Boot Tad Edition, and it's our first collaboration Foundry project as well as our first entry into footwear. So what we're going to do is we're going to have two videos, one video going over the features and benefits of the boot, another video going over how to measure your foot once you've placed your order, and then you will send that into Tad so we can get that over to White so they can hand make these boots for you. So this Foundry project, the way it's going to work is there really is no minimum. You'll see the status bar will show a minimum. That's really just kind of the first order that we want to get into Whites. So if you don't see that status bar go all the way green or all the way to the right, don't worry. If you place an order, you will get your boots. These are handmade, 100% handmade. We'll go over that in the more in-depth video going over features and benefits. So the way it'll work is you'll pick your color. It'll either be the brown that you see here or the black that you'll see in a second. And then you'll place your order that way. You'll receive an email from us that will have a measurement template. You need to print that out, and then you will trace your foot, do the measurements that's required of that template, and then you'll send that back into Tad. That's so we can get it to Whites so they can make these boots by hand to your specification. Like I said, this is really new for Tad. We're really excited to be working with Whites. They're arguably one of the oldest made in America companies still around today. They started in 1853. So truly heritage. They kind of pioneered the way for this type of boot. And they're still hand making these today. Everything is handmade. So that's how the project's going to work. Let's dive down and show you some examples of boots and all the specifications. All right, guys, so as we talked about at the beginning of the video, White's MP Service Boot Tad Edition. White started in 1853 in Virginia. They moved to Spokane, Washington, and they're still making them like they do back in the day. So there's some great videos out. Check out our product page, and there's some behind the scenes of how they got started, how they still do their manufacturing process. And stay tuned to the project as orders come in. We're actually going to fly up to White's and film some of the process of them making these Tad boots. So if you're one of the first to get your order in, you might be lucky enough to actually see your boot getting made. So just to give you some examples, this is the black Chromex sole. This is the brown. This is an unused, brand new, out of the box, fresh from the factory. This one obviously has had some heavy field use, as you can see here. And then this one was the partner to this, but it's just cleaned up, just ran some water over it and kind of brushed the dirt off. So you can see that these boots really kind of cover the gamut of something that can be used in the field should you choose to. It can handle the abuse. But if you need to wear them in the street, they're easily able to clean up and get that nice classy looking feel to them. So what we want to do now is just kind of go over the Tad version and what has changed from the standard White's MP service boot to this edition. So on the Tad edition, what we worked with White's on was, instead of having these two stitch lines coming across the toe of the shoe, of the boot, excuse me, we went ahead and went with our traditional triple needle stitching here, and they were able to do it in our Gunmetal colorway. So for those of you that are familiar with the brand and our color patterns, this is the Gunmetal color pattern from Tad. We were also able to work with White's to go change the eyelets here. So instead of being the traditional brass eyelets that you would see from White's, we were able to have them do our gunmetal, and these are actually metal eyelets. So you have that gunmetal colorway again, and then they're obviously metal eyelets. And then we were able to do the Tad logo deboss there on the side. So you have the White's MP to note the model of the boot, and then you have the year that White's started, 1853, and then you have the Tad logo there to kind of tell the full story of the legend of White's and then the partnership with Tad. So the leather that's used in both the black and the brown is Horween's Chromex sole leather. They've been making leather for about 100 years, so again, kind of going with that heritage and legacy. As you can see here, it's a nice thick leather. The whole shoe is leather, aside from the Vibram sole, the leather, the rubber on the bottom. Sorry. The leather, it's about a 28-day process just to get the leather right, to then send over to whites to be used in the boot making process. So you're getting a really, really high quality leather. It's going to last a lifetime. It's going to show great wear over the years. And as we mentioned before, just to show you an example of the type of abuse that it can take. So these are the same shoes. They were a pair worn in the field, and just some simple water and a paper towel to clean them up, just to show you how great this leather actually does clean up and the type of abuse that it can take. So as we mentioned before, we're going to be filming the actual manufacturing process with whites in about 2 weeks as they're making some of the first orders of these. But just to go over really how to convey exactly the awesomeness behind these boots and why this is such an incredible boot and project to get in on, is these are truly 100% handmade. They're hand sewn, hand lasted, hand welted, and the bottoms are hand constructed. Again, there's some videos on the product page that actually show that process being done. So I mean, these truly are handmade. Somebody is pulling the leather, cutting the leather, fitting it to your specifications once you place your order and take your measurements and send those in. This is truly a custom piece made to TAD specifications in White's factory. Some other key things to point out here is almost everything in this boot is replaceable over time. Should your foot change, or you get an injury, or you know, through 20, 30, 40 years of wearing them, you need some things replacing. The outsoles are replaceable, the insoles, the midsoles, the heel, the toe leather, and the arches are able to be reshaped. So all that is replaceable and able to be reshaped through whites. So again, 20, 30 years, maybe even longer, 40 years down the road, you need some just reworking of the shoe. Whites is able to do that. You're also able to get them resoled due to the Goodyear welt here. Again, due to that Goodyear welt, these are able to be resoled. So if you wear this tread pattern down, would like to get a different tread pattern or something like that, you can easily send these into whites and get these resoled. So again, these are truly a custom piece, handmade to your specifications once you send your measurements in, and it's a boot that will last you the rest of your life and will probably be a boot that you can pass down over the years. So there you have it, guys. That's just a quick overview of the project. It's really hard to convey how amazing these boots look and feel digitally. Do some research online. There's a ton of reviews. Again, Whites has been around for 150 years. They're still in business today. They're still the boot of choice by wildland firefighters and loggers and ranchers. So they do it right. And it's still made in America by hand, which is unheard of these days. I know a lot of you might compare these to other more modern boots like Solomon's or Loa's and stuff like that, and it's really not comparable. Those are totally different boots, totally different manufacturing process, and totally different way about doing business. Those are great boots in their own right. They're mass produced. They're kind of made to a size spec and sent to major retailers, and that's it. These truly, when you place your order, you pick your color, the black or the brown, and then you have to measure your foot. You have to take certain measurements, trace your foot, and send that in to us, because the guy that is assigned to making your boot is going to use those measurements, use that tracing to make this boot for you. So again, it's truly a one-of-a-kind piece. The project will go on for 4 weeks, at which time the project will go dark, go dead, and the orders that are in are the orders that are in, and we'll be making those boots and be getting them out to you. So give it some time, give it some thoughts, send us some questions if you have questions. Reach out to Whites if you have specific questions, or send us an email at support@tripleoutdesign.com, and we can reach out to Whites for you. But we're, again, super excited about this collaboration. It's truly a one-of-a-kind, and we're really excited to see where this can go. If this goes well, it really opens the door for us to do more collaborations, not just with Whites, but other truly unique custom handmade manufacturers.